Well, I like that background.
Which one?
The one in the ocean.
Oh, go down to stop video. See where you say stop video. See that arrow that points up?
Yeah.
If you click on it, you see virtual background.
Ah.
It gives you options.
Okay. I have to enable it. It says, okay. Oh, I see. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, very neat. That's pretty cool. All right. Let me I think we still have a couple of minutes as people coming on. So as soon as we'll get started at 8. So I make sure everybody. Is that me? Did I do that? Let me see. What do I got in the background there? Oh no, that's you. That's pretty cool background. Yeah, I try to get mine to go, and let me try one more time. All right, let's see. Where am I there? Okay, let's see. I have to update my my Microsoft or my operating system. It says I have to do that so that I can. Boy, you're walking on top of the earth.
I know.
Oh, that's good. Well, we're excited that we're getting started and having you all come on board. And thank you all for, you know, I know it's not, you know, we're starting right in the middle of the summer, so that's always a good challenge. But I do want to commend you all for stepping up. That's I know you guys too. There, and the majority of you are in New York, correct? Or are you in different places?
Yes.
Florida for me.
Oh, nice, Florida. Okay, and in Orlando.
Here.
Nice, very nice. All right. So what I'm, you know, as people start to come on, I'm recording this so that after I'll upload this, that way others can have the opportunity, if they're not able to make it tonight, be able to watch it. And if you as well want to go over it on another time, you're more than welcome to do so. So that'll be good. So let me just start with a word of prayer tonight, and that way we can commit this time to the Lord and plus, you know, the start of this new journey online at New School of Biblical Theology, NSBT.
I gotta do it so that
we want to just commit it to the Lord, all that we're going to be doing. So let's pray. Father, I want to thank you for
my picture's not
this opportunity that you're giving us and the way that you're bringing everything together. We thank you for each and every single person that has made the effort, the commitment, the sacrifice to start at the New School of Biblical Theology. And Lord, we want to just commit this time to you and that you be glorified. You know our needs, you know our families and our situations, but we want to ask you now that you be glorified in our midst. We ask all of this in the precious name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Right. So let's, so what I can begin to do, let me just show you how, you know, to log in and then go into one of the courses. And then from that point,
my black bag and
we can as well begin. You can either, you know, ask questions or put it in the chat if you like. And I think I have actually someone. Okay, someone's microphone is not working. Okay, let me double check. So that way you can even type in questions that you have in the chat. If you look at the bottom, you can type in any chat questions that you may have. So
That mine?
let me share my screen with you. Any questions or comments before I start to just look at the Properly platform and NSBT for you? Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen with you. All right, let's do this. One. All right, let me move out of that. I want to move this to the bottom. The bottom of my screen. All right. So, you know, one of the ways that we get onto is on our website, nsbt.org. We'll click on there, and on the very website, you'll have, there's a couple places that you can go, but the quickest way is up here under current students and then student log on. That's where you want to go to get into the NSBT portal. You'll basically at this juncture, you've already set up your username here, right? That's where your username, and then here you're going to have the password that you created. But this is how it should look unless you already have saved it, and that way you can log into your Populi and NSBT. So this is the home page that you would see. Now, obviously, this is from a faculty view. The student view would be something similar. And here, what you find is basically the very home page where you're at. Let me, at this point, as you notice on your right-hand corner where it says courses, it should list here the very courses that you are presently right now registered to, and it should be the tutorial, it should be the library orientation, it should be the research skills, and that's the ones that we're talking about. And you probably also would have the one that you'll start on Monday with Dr. Irvin, and that would be your course on leadership for ministry and global context. So, but just this is a quick view. You got alerts here where you find what's coming up. You'll find here, this is the feed where you will have messages from, you know, anyone in NSBT that in your courses that you can have live bulletin board and be chatting with people here. It's kind of similar to the setup of Facebook where you kind of put up posts, and it's similar in that way where you can put here. And here are the events that are coming up, like Monday 8th, this is different things that are coming up, and like again, the courses. So let's go into let's do the library orientation, because I do want to show you how to do that. So here is where you will begin this particular course, and I've already begun chatting with Yolanda. I think Yolanda, you're here tonight, right? I think I saw you come on, and so I've already been talking to her, and then I have messages, and Angela as well. We've already been talking. So let me so here's the library orientation. You'll have your buttons where you'll have your lessons, your syllabus, and so what I wanted to show you though, to log into the Digital Theological Library, you're going to need to know your student ID, right? So when you go to My Profile, you will basically, on that particular button there, it'll show you your profile, and your student ID will be right underneath your name. So let me, I think I sent you all that email, and you saw that picture is how that, and where your ID number would be there. Now, when you do go there, you will then, when you need to go into the D2L, which will, so let's say you go into syllabus in this course, you'll find you know, the very description of the course, which is really for you to get engaged with the digital theological library. And that's really the goal for you at this orientation. And then set it up in 6 different lessons. You know, what is the theological library? And as you go in there, you'll begin to see description of the very library, what it contains. It's a very comprehensive theological resource that will be really beneficial for us as we're doing our coursework in New School of Biblical Theology. And then here you have your pages. This is the welcome page. And then you could either, through the pages, you could either click on this directly, or you can go to the next page here. Within this one lesson, the lesson that is the theological library. Then you have the endorsements. You'll feel free to do that. You can read what Pastor Bernard has said, what Dr. Irvin, who's your professor starting Monday, and what our dean, Dr. Randall Pennell, has endorsed the theological library. And then there's some samples of what kind of resources. There's so many, but I highlighted this one because this is actually Dr. Urban has co-authored this particular history of the world Christian movement. And so just that, you know, one of our own faculty is published. Dr. Parnell is published, I'm published. We have our areas of expertise. So that's that one particular lesson. And if you look at it, you got the login instructions. This is what I wanted, and I did send this to you all. So here, this is going to be important. Those that are registered, you are now active to log into the D2L. And that's basically what you'll need is your student ID. So like when I told you to go to your profile, if you click on your profile, you will look at underneath your name and you'll have you'll have this type of ID number, okay? That's your NSBT student ID number that you have. Now the DTL code, barcode that you need to be able to log into D2L is the same ID minus the section of your last name. So if you look this will be the DTL barcode for this student last name Baker. All of a sudden you do this, the first part minus the last name, and then you have it's all then the numerals that you have here of the ID. And you want to include the hyphen because that's part of your ID. And then as you look at the login picture above, you'll see this is very important because you may put in your student ID, and if you don't remember to select the NSBT library, for example, let's go to it right now. So how do I get to the library? I mean, you can do it in these lessons, but in all your courses, you have this one button up here. You see that home? That's where we're at now. You have files, calendar, and then you have library. You click on that, and our library is a digital library, so the only function that really works is the links function for you, okay? You click on that, and what we've created for you are these lists of resources that pertain to research and the use of the library. So the first list is the DTL list. So, you know, you'll notice that what you have in your orientation course on library orientation is also here. Why is that the case? Because once you finish the orientation, which is the next, you know, you'll have that available the next 8 weeks for you while you're in that first course. But after that, you won't have access to that orientation, but you'll always have access to the links of the library, which is the same content here. So you'll always have this with you in all your courses. And it's basically, you have the detail. Let me just show you the other list of items that you have. And you'll find this in the orientation as well. Tips on how to format, because you're gonna be writing papers. And we use the Chicago and Trabian style. And so here you have also this list, and it takes you to these informational sheets that you can download, how to do the margins, how to do the title page, how to do the introduction, the main text, subheadings, bibliography, footnotes. So it gives you guides. And then it gives you Chicago basics, style basics, and this is really also helpful for you. What is Chicago style? What is Turabian? And it gives you more information. Crash course on citations. You know, I mean, if you haven't been doing so, or if you've written before and you've used a different style manual for writing, you're gonna having to learn how to use the Chicago Manual Style Turabian. Actually, this will help you to be able to look at it in examples. I'll just go there so you can see what we're talking about. So let's say you need to quote, right? And also, so you're going to put a footnote, and then you have to put it as a bibliography. The first example is the footnote that you would use. Here's an example of this is a book, and this is how you would write it within your text, the shortened version. So, and then this is how you would do the bibliographical entries at the very end for your bibliography. So it gives you examples, if it was a book, how you should format it, as well as a chapter or another part of an edited book. It gives you an example of that. So it depends where you're going to be quoting from. If it's a direct book, or if you're going to a specific chapter in a book, or if you're going to a translated book and an ebook, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be helpful for you it's a crash course, but there are other examples that will help you also do the formatting. So let me go back. So that's a crash course. Here's crafting your paper. This is really helpful because if it's the first time you're going to write a paper, or if it's going to be, you've written it before, but you just want to improve, this is really helpful as how the process that you should be, the steps you should be taking to do your paper. And it helps you. Why research, choosing a topic, core argument of your topic, plan your research around questions of argument, and so on. It's 26 different sources here, but then as well, you can download them all, in one PDF, or you can do them individually, because you might say, oh, I don't need this one, but hey, this is going to be good. I click on that. For example, I click on that, how to plan my time, and it's only one page. I can download that, save it, and use it, as a guide for myself. So that's for your crafting a paper. And then you have video tutorials on Chicago style, Turabian, and so it gives you these different ones. Now, like I said to you, you're going to run across all of this stuff within those 3 orientations, but I put them all in this one link page so that it goes with you in every course, so that you are not worried, man, those orientations were very helpful. How do I keep all that information? That information's already on your Poply page here on NSBT, the library. Again, how do I get there? I'm home, right? Where we were at before. You can just click on library, click on links, and you're there. Okay, so that's that. Let's go to that. I wanted to go into D2L, so let's go into details so you can see how to use it. Gives you examples of how to use it, but let's say you want to search. Let's say, let's search Dr. Urban's book. It's right there.
Or hidden. It's in
So then this is how it is when you log into
behind the thing. Open up that
D2L.
bag.
I had already been logged in. So that step that I showed you before, that you need your ID. Let me see if I can.
I think it's dead though.
Let's see.
I forgot where I put the charger.
Let's see if I can log out so I can show you how it is to log in. But let me just show you. Okay, so let's say you find a book or an article. Here, pretty much, you want to look at this and view it. You click on it. There it is. That's what I wanted to show you. Okay, so you got to scroll down. to NSBT, and there we are, right between New Brunswick Theological Seminary and New York Theological Seminary. So make sure you click on that, and then you need to put your student barcode right in here, and then you'll go, and then you log in, and there I have access. So basically here at this point, I can click on, let me move this here. So I have access to the book, see? I can look at the table of contents. So if I'm doing some research and, you know, I have a course on history, church history, and say, for example, this is world Christianity, talking about how Christianity began in the Americas, you know, that's one, or African Christianity in the 16th century. And so let's say, for example, I'm doing some research and I want to give an example of, for this course, and I've selected doing something with Latin America. And maybe I want to talk about how it got, you know, how Christianity arrived. Well, then I can talk about what it was before they were conquered or when they were conquered. And let's say, for example, then how the Incas were conquered in Peru or South America, because I want to focus on South America. Then I'm already here in this chapter, and I can do my research and try to begin to find information. But again, one way to do that, again, if you notice what I did, I went to table of content and began to look at the headings of the chapters to determine if any of this would be helpful for my research in Christianity in Latin America. So, but that's an example of D2L, how to access it. And let me then go back here to, yeah, that's to our course. All right, just an example. I wanted to get in our, one of our courses, but let me go ahead. I don't know, let me see if anybody's has put any questions up for the class. Let me look at the chat here for us. Okay. Any questions that you have? Because I mean, I can begin to answer if you have anything specific, something you've run across as you're looking at your courses, those orientation courses.
When you use the library, and let's assume that all of us borrow the same book, is there only a limited amount similar to the library, or can all of us have the same access to the same?
Yeah, that's a good question. I believe they give you options. Some books they have more copies of, and you should get a notification. But I will ask that question, because I know that just got a message from our dean that he got from D2L, letting us know there's about 300 books that they just acquired with unlimited licenses to access them, meaning there can be as many people accessing those particular books. So I'm certain that there are certain books and texts that have that capability of, you know, the whole course can access that same book. But I will find out if there are certain, you know, what is the limit if you're going to be selecting the same book. That's a good question.
One other question. Are all the required textbooks online? Because if we have to order it, it's going to take some time before it arrives.
Okay, that's a really good question, and let me go ahead and show you that right now. I want to show you your course, at least the books. Let me go ahead and go back to home. Okay, academics. Now I have more options than you will have. And this is your course will be 1:30. Here we go. All right, so when we come into your course, you do session 1. All right, let me show you this. Okay, so when you're going to open this course, you're going to find all these links that are going to be part of the resources. So Dr. Irvin has provided a lot of the resources that you need, articles and videos that you're going to be watching. But as far as the text, what I've done for you is there's this particular text here. This one D2L has. When you click on it, it takes you to D2L, and there you can view it, just like I showed you before, okay? So you're gonna have access to this one. That's the one. So if you click on it, just like I showed you before, you'll click on it and you'll be able to view it. You'll view the book. And there it is. You can read it online, download the book, or download PDF chapter. So it'll be up to you how you want to access it. So you can read it online. Let's see. Here we go. There, to your question, your institution has unlimited access to this book. So all of you can access it. All right. So this book, you don't have to purchase, but it's a great question you asked, because the other book you will need to purchase, and I'll show you how to do that. And you're going to say, how am I going to get it? We've resolved that issue for you. And I'll show you just what I mean by that. The other book is, that is the required book, is this one. Okay, see this one, there's a Kindle version. So you can get that and it's be electronic. So there's not gonna be an issue of you having a delay in receiving the text. So I think one thing that we're trying really hard to do as professors is try to find textbooks that D2L has, so that students can just utilize D2L and not have to purchase books. But there are going to be occasions like this situation now where Dr. Urban prefers this book over the other ones that they have. And so we made it a point to try to find something that had the Kindle version. That way you can access it electronically. A good question. Any more questions? Anyone else have another question? Close these out for you. So let me show you too. So all of your courses, this is one required book. So let me show you. D2L has the Chicago Manual Style. It'll have for you, let me see, it's right here. Again, you can access that book on D2L. Let me just see what's the status on this one as to how many people can access it. Oh, actually, you go directly to it. It's a virtual one. See, there you go. So all of you will have access. So for this is going to be really crucial for you to be able to, how to publish. How to cite. So pretty much you're going to want to learn this one here, the citing. We're not doing the author date references. We're doing the notes and bibliography. What that means, basically footnotes within the text and then bibliography at the end. So if you click on that, then it goes into this, and then you click on any of these to help you how to, if you want to know how to, electronic resources, basic format examples of it. Let's click on that. And then username here, that's going to be interesting. Let me see if, I don't know if it'll take, let me see if it takes my, NSBT here. Let me double check if it does. Let's see. I made me forget where I was at. All right. No, we don't. So this is another example. I'll actually, The subscription, I know that the subscription for this particular book for a year is like $30 or $40 for this particular manual. But what I've provided in your links allows you to look at the examples. Let me go ahead and go back to that. Let me click out of this real quick. So like when we're back in our page, again, when you go to your when I went to the libraries and links, when I showed you these this is probably the main parts that you'll need for your paper formatting. And I provide this, and you can always access these. For example, the margins. It gives you pretty much how you want to format it. Inch here, you know, 1.5 inches from the page, 1 inch on the side, 1 inch on the side. And so that's the margins, right? And the page numbers on the upper right. And pretty much it gives you the example of what you want for that for that paper. Like say your title page for your papers that you're going to write for NSBT, you're going to follow this particular format. Pretty much you have your title here, and then the course information and the student name and date. That's pretty much the extent of what your title page should look like. So here again, you have the examples, and you can pretty much download these simply by clicking this. You'll download it, save it, and use that as your formatting, as a template to your paper. Again, for example, the introduction, the main text, section, subheads, bibliography. And then again, these you can access to help you understand more. And then this is really helpful. But yeah, I would definitely, for your courses, look to having the Chicago Manual Style or Turabian. And it's, you know, you can purchase a book and have it. And I think, let me look at what Chicago Manual Style cost. I mean, I have the online version, and I do the subscription, and I renew it every year because I try to keep up with the styles of publishing. So Chicago Manual Style, let me do this. I want to see, it takes me to the website, but what I wanted to do, let me show you. Okay, let's go to shopping so you get an idea of what it costs, 30 bucks. And then you have it. The reason why I do the subscription, because almost every year and a half, they come up with a new one. And so this is 17th edition. So, you know, it's just always to be on top of it. But you can feel free to go ahead and purchase this, and then you'll have it throughout your work at NSBT, because although what I provided within the library links are pretty much examples, but it doesn't give you every specific example. For example, you may find a resource that you found online, and some of the templates that I provided may have an example, but might not have the specific example that you need. And in this manual, you'll find a lot of more examples and instructions on how to cite or put the bibliographical information on your bibliography. So yes, these books are very, very important for you, as you'll know, as you look into your courses. Any other questions? I mean, I can, if you want me to go into one of the tutorials and look at that a little bit closely. Let me go ahead and go into this one. I want to show you here. So in the online learning, this is kind of to give you an idea of what it's going to look like when you're in a course. So what's the purpose of this course? It's actually for you to kind of look at what it looks like in a class. You're not submitting any assignments for this particular course on the online learning. You're basically just looking at how the course is set up. So here, you have the welcome, basically welcoming you, telling you what this tutorial's about for you. And then you can go to the next lesson. There we go, next lesson. And here, this is an important one for you too. So the system that NSBT is in is the Learning Management System, LMS, and it's Populi that we use. And so you're gonna have to begin to learn how to utilize it. So all the course is basically structured within Populi. And so how are you gonna learn to learn how to submit assignments? My tutorials and the orientation provides that information, but also it tells you how to do so by clicking on these very links. It takes you directly to, if you want to know how to register for your courses, all of you have done that already. But you know, when you move forward, as you go to the next session, you want to know how to try to remember how to do it. You can come here, how to submit your work for assignments, online tests. You're not going to have to worry about so much this one because we're not, at this juncture, we're requiring students to be doing more discussions and writing papers than tests. The lessons, so basically, you know, in a lesson, how do I access the lesson? It gives you kind of information because, you know, it can be overwhelming to learn a new system initially, but as you begin to interact with it, engage it, you'll begin to learn the steps by the use of it, obviously, like anything else. This thing is in the way. Let me go ahead and go back to how to do discussion, submitting and interacting with peer assignments, how to do it on your, you know, on your mobile apps, chat. So these are different steps. And let's go to, and this is for this particular one. So the first 3 weeks, you'll find examples of assignments, lessons, but then the last 5 weeks, there's really, they're empty shells because we just wanted you to get a feel. The first week is really developed. The next couple of the weeks are just giving you examples of what it looked like. So as you're thinking, what is my first course going to look like? It's going to probably be set up similar to this, where you have, these are your 8 weeks that you will be in your class. And in each of those weeks, you'll find your assignments, your activities, the lessons that the professor has for that week. So let's say, for example, say you were enrolled in this particular sample course. If you went to the syllabus, this is again an idea. See, again, as you saw when I went into that one other course for you, it did show you all these books. The required books are here. You find them on D2L, and then the reading books here. That this here is just going to give you information on this particular, on this particular course, sample course. All of the required books, the Mission Essential Guides, the New Global one, the Translate Mission, they're all, in this particular sample course, they're all available on D2L. See, you'll find, how will you know? When you go to your links, you're gonna find required book, required book, required book, required book, and then at the end, you'll see D2L, letting you know that's where you can access it. So when you go into your course on Monday, I showed you already, but you're going to find that one of your books is there that you need, and the other one you're going to need to get the Kindle version of that for that one book. So this, in this sample course, again, you know, you'll just click on it, and it'll take you straight. If you're already logged in, once you're logged into D2L, you can then begin to click on